The NFL refuses to let Black Monday just fizzle out. We had Black Monday followed by Brown Tuesday with the John Harbaugh news. Wednesday, more terminations. Today's Thursday. I guess we're calling it Cyber Thursday. Matt Eberflus was let go from the Dallas Cowboys after his historic 500-point leaky defense that just, wasn't really set up to succeed. Let's be honest. When you trade away Micah Parsons, you're asking him to take a big uphill fight, and but you know what? As a Lions fan, the Bay of Schadenfreude, I'm not too upset about Matt Eberflus being let go from the Dallas Cowgirls. But today, guys, it is, at the time of recording, breaking news, 11:20 in the morning. If you're not watching the live show, make sure that you guys subscribe to this channel so you can hang out every Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. As we were wrapping up the show just this morning, we've seen breaking news. Dolphins fire coach Mike McDaniel. After 7-10 season, he went, I think, 35-33, 35-35, I think a 500 win percent total in his tenure in Miami. And it is a little bit shocking because all reports were indicating Mike McDaniel was going to be involved in the search for the new general manager of the Miami Dolphins, that he was more or less probably going to be around for at least another year. And then about 11 o'clock this morning, news broke that the Dolphins have moved on from head coach, now former head coach, Mike McDaniel. And there is probably a good reason for that. I think one individual recently hitting the free agent coaching market was probably the catalyst behind Mike McDaniel being let go from Miami. And this, of course, now opens up a whole new dynamic to offensive coordinator positions that need to be filled. Towards the end of the video, we'll talk about that here in the Detroit. My guy, Mike McDaniel. Come on, bud. Come on here. Pair up with Dan Campbell and Jared Goff. Let's get this offense humming. But before we do, could you guys subscribe to the channel if you're new here? Ring that notification bell so you can be notified every single time that we upload a video, roughly about 4 p.m. Monday through Friday. But most importantly, this is when the big heavy comes in, baby girl. We do go live Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. right here at youtube.com. The Hat and Beard Show. Take your chats, super chats, hanging out, reading articles, doing the thing. And hey, guys, look, I see you guys watching, man. I see there's like 6% of you that aren't subscribed. And, the 94% of us that are want to know why you're not hanging out, dude. Do we stink? Is that what it is? Is it my face for radio? Is that what it is? I get it. I get it, dude. Go ahead and like this video if you enjoy the content we provide here. Share this around with all of your friends, especially if you're a Mike McDaniel's fan. If they need a little pat on the ass and a little kiss on the forehead, little Christian Wilkins, little smooch bandit action there. But then if you've got some to spare, sir, could you drop a hype on this video? I'd like some more of those, please. All right, guys, now that that's out of the way, let's talk about this. Coming to us from ESPN.com. Sources: Dolphins fire Mike McDaniel after a 7-10 season. And it didn't start out so good. Didn't look great from the start, right? I believe it was Asante Samuel Sr. said on a podcast, Miami's lost, the locker room's nuts. There's the more or less the inmates are running the asylum. The Miami Dolphins have fired head coach Mike McDaniel. The team announced on Thursday. The move comes after McDaniel had met with reporters Monday and said he would be part of the team's interviews to hire a new general manager. Dolphins owner Stephen Ross met with McDaniel this week to discuss the season. And after that meeting and reflection, Ross decided to move on. Quote, "After careful evaluation and extensive discussion since the season ended, I have made the decision that our organization is in need of comprehensive change," Ross said in a statement. "I love Mike and I want to thank him for his hard work, commitment, and the energy he brought to our organization. Mike is an incredibly creative football mind whose passion for the game and his players was evident every day. I wish him and his family the best moving forward," Ross added. How do you guys feel about that, Miami fans? Do you like this move? Were you ready to pull the plug on Mike McDaniel? Or is it more so not him, more so bad general management? We've seen, what was it, Fry? I think that was your GM. He got fired midseason. I'm not trying to say that anyone is one way or another, but Tyreek Hill has been known to be a little bit of a cancerous individual on the field. Tua clearly is having a confidence in crisis. I think there's a very feasible trade on the market that it's a quarterback swap, almost a 1-for-1 contract swap that gives a fresh restart for both quarterbacks involved, and that is, Miami. Just go save Dak from Dallas and send Tua to go deal with Jerry. My eyes aren't too far apart, Jones. My eyes aren't too far apart. The Dolphins announced Wednesday that they are completing an initial round of general manager interviews. They have scheduled in-person interviews with 4 candidates: interim GM Champ Kelly, 49ers Director of Scouting and Football Operations Josh Williams, Green Bay Packers Vice President of Player Personnel John Eric Sullivan, and Los Angeles Chargers Assistant GM Chad Alexander, trying to bring in the Chad. McDaniels joined the Dolphins as a first-time head coach in 2022 after 5 seasons with the Niners, including 4 as their run game coordinator from 2017 to 2020, and 1 as their offensive coordinator in 2021. He successfully turned around an offense that hadn't finished in the top 10 in total yards since 1995. Miami finished 6th in total offense in McDaniel's first season. I believe I was in like 4th grade, something around there. Despite averaging fewer than 100 rushing yards per game, the Dolphins led the NFL in total offense in 2023 as quarterback. Tua clicking on buttons I don't need to be clicking on. Tua Tagovailoa, get back here. Clicky, click, click, clacking. We can get it clacking if you're clicking, clicking, clacking. Where was I? Gosh, dang it. Oh, I totally lost my line. Well, this is just great. The Dolphins announced Wednesday that they're completing initial round. That's where we was at. The Dolphins have not yet been in touch with John Harbaugh or anyone in his camp. I don't believe you. I don't believe you. I think you're lying. At the very least, you're not being truthful. Look, you can't just exactly say the Ravens fired John Harbaugh and then all of a sudden the Dolphins moved on from Mike McDaniel, because there is the meeting he had with the owner, right? And after that meeting, now, for all the reasons that I kind of like Mike McDaniel, I could understand why an owner wants to move on from him, right? Sometimes he seems a little unserious, right? And Mike McDaniel speaks in a very unorthodox way. He's clearly an outside the bun thinker, so I can understand how having a conversation about big picture things, grandiose overhauls of franchises, big picture stuff is going to leave you going, that guy's weird, man. We're just going to move on, right? But again, it does seem, no pun intended, a little fishy that right after old John Harbaugh was fired unceremoniously from Baltimore, Miami's like, yeah, Mike McDaniel. There's no way a 20-year, 18-year head coaching veteran would ever want to move his 60-plus-year-old ass down here from Baltimore to sunny Miami, Florida. There's no way. He's not on our list. We haven't reached out to him. Come on now. Come on. That you take your fan and your smoke and go blow it up somebody else's ass. McDaniel joined the Dolphins as a first-time head coach in 22 after 5 seasons with the Niners. Yep, we talked about that. He successfully turned around the offense. We talked about that. Miami's offense declined in 2024 with Tua missing a career-high 6 games, averaging 325 yards per game compared to 365 and 401 yards in 22 and 23. The team lost 6 of its first 8 games before finishing 8-9 and missing the playoffs for the first time under McDaniel. Miami lost 7. What's going on here? 7 of their first 8 games in 25 and fired general manager Chris Grier at the end of October before rallying with a 4-game winning streak. Tagovailoa was benched after a week loss in Week 15, which eliminated the Dolphins from playoff contention. Rookie 7th rounder Quinn Ewers started the team's final 3 games. Tagovailoa said on Monday that he was hopeful to get a fresh start with a new team in 2026. That would be dope, he said. I would be good with it. Moving on from Tagovailoa will be expensive. Boy, my internet is really screwing up. For Miami, he represents $56.4 million cap hit in 2026, and cutting him before June 1 would result in $99.2 million dead cap hit next season. Damn. Releasing him after June 1 would spread the cap hit across 2 seasons with $67 million hitting in 2026. Now, because we looked this up in the live show this morning at the back end, if you guys aren't subscribed to the channel, you don't have your notification bell turned on, how are you going to know when we go live Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. here at youtube.com, The Hat and Beard Show. Mad Hatter Nation wants you there. We talk about this stuff. We do thought exercises. It's a good time. Where are you? Why are you not hanging out every day? But we looked at it. There is a $7 million AAV annual value, annual adjusted value for the cap between Tagovailoa and Dak Prescott. Made a relatively good argument. The Dak Prescott being in Dallas, he will never win a Super Bowl. Dallas, Jerry Jones is concerned more about making money, the brand of the Dallas Cowboys. It doesn't matter if he's winning Super Bowls as long as he's making headlines. And you talk about the Dallas Cowboys, they are generating revenue. If Tua wants a fresh start and if Dak Prescott wants to actually win a Super Bowl, why don't you do the Jared Goff thing? Go complete overhaul, new fresh start. John Harbaugh is your head coach. Go to sunny Miami, Florida. Get out from underneath the looming pressure of the evil empire. Do it. Just do it, Dak. Do it. Just do it. Dak to Miami for Tua Tagovailoa, I think makes the most amount of sense. Real quickly, though, I will play this video from ESPN. Not the biggest Stephen A. Smith fan in the world. To be fair, though, he has a good point. He makes a really compelling point about Mike McDaniel, right? It's not glamorous. It's not glorious. It has nothing to do with the intricacies of the game. It has nothing to do with stats or metrics, okay? When you are a head coach in the NFL, what is going on here, ESPN? When you're a head coach in the NFL, your job is to just win, baby, right? And well, I guess this video is not going to work, but Stephen A. laid out a pretty simple, compelling argument. When Mike McDaniel takes a team into sub-40-degree weather, no dice. No dice over there. We're just going to close that out and kick it on over here to Yahoo. So Stephen A., lays it right out. And when you're in the AFC East, well, you're the oddball out being Miami. Everybody else is in the cold, man. Everyone else is in the cold. And not only are you in the cold, but you don't even get the reprieve of being a cold weather team with a dome like Detroit, like Minnesota. You know what I'm saying? You're just standing out in the cold with your dick in your hand. You know what I'm saying? So why did Mike McDaniel get fired? Numbers of things, right? He's weird. He's not traditional in his day-to-day operations, right? Things got off to a miserable start this season. The Dolphins were embarrassed by the Colts in Week 1. From there, the Dolphins found increasingly inventive ways to lose. With the team at 1-6 to open the season, McDaniels and the Dolphins showed some life down the stretch. The team won 5 of 6 games, salvaging what, to that point, had been a miserable start. But the surge couldn't save McDaniel or Tua because Tua was benched. Okay, now Miami, I told you guys to do this in our live show. I said you needed to do a complete overhaul. I went so far as to say that Miami needs to do such an overhaul that they retailor their uniforms back to the teal face mask, go back to your traditional teal pants, put the older fish back on the helmet, back to fundamentals, right? Now, if we're going to go back to fundamentals and we're doing a whole structural overhaul, you need to get a solid general manager, not taking a gamble on somebody. You need to take somebody with a proven track record, if not doing it already, but if not doing it already, then at the bare minimum being in a franchise that has shown that they're able to turn this around. Miami fans, sound off in the comments what you let me know down below. This is not the time for you to take another swing on an unproven asset at your head coach. This is not the time to try and get cute with it. I know the NFL's tradition recently has turned into the young hot name. You tried to do it with Mike McDaniel, right? It is the Sean McVay effect, right? Everyone wants the young hot name, right? Miami, this is not the time to do this. You need to overhaul. You need to reset, recalibrate, reload, and go out on the attack. You need a fundamental reset back to a solid foundation, and your man with a plan, it better be John Harbaugh. Okay, Miami fans, you better hire John Harbaugh. Hire John Harbaugh, and you better figure out a way to wheel in deal Tua and that disgusting contract on a failed quarterback. You need to trade Tua, whatever it takes. Get yourself Dak Prescott. Go get yourself Dak from Dallas. Okay, make that happen. Wheel it and deal it and start your rebuild. John Harbaugh is the guy that can lead you to that solution, to that turning point, if it were in your franchise. I think he's the guy that you should build around your franchise for the next 5 to 6 years, however long he wants to coach, and you give him at least 5 years to really instill his culture, the winning ways that he has done for 2 decades now in Baltimore, get his fingerprints all over your team, and the proof is in the pudding. You should have a championship contending team in Miami. Now, I will just say quickly, before we get up on out of here, guys, Mike McDaniel, I hope you are on a flight to Detroit right now. I am a unabashed, unapologetic Lions fan, cotton candy on my hat. Let's go, Dan Campbell. Look, I made a good argument. I like the David Blau situation. I'm actually in favor of David Blau coming to the Detroit Lions to be our offensive coordinator. Yeah, put all that aside. Mike McDaniel needs to be the offensive coordinator of the Detroit Lions next season, because then not only does he rebuild himself and prove that he is actually a good offensive coordinator, but to Stephen A. Smith's point, he does it. Now, I know that we are really stretching the definition here. I know that we are really stretching it. But you do it in a cold weather climate as the offensive coordinator of a cold weather team. All right, guys, I appreciate it. Hey, thanks for hanging out. Drop a like, subscribe, turn your notification bell on. We are live Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. here at youtube.com. The Hat and Beard Show. Let's go, guys. Mad Hatter Nation wants to know where you are at. Thanks for hanging out. Drop a hype if you got it. I've been Hat and Beard. You've been attentive audience. Until next time, bonga bonga. Frig off.